It was $3,000 ahead. That's what my sister Jessica texted me when I asked why I wasn't included in her bachelorette party. We both know you can't afford it. Her words stung, sharp as glass. What she didn't know was that the lavish coastal resort she'd chosen for her exclusive weekend getaway, the Azure Coast in Monterey, was part of my portfolio. My name is Lauren Hayes. I'm 38, and I've built a career in hospitality consulting. For more than a decade, I've traveled from one struggling hotel to another, helping owners turn failing properties into thriving businesses. It wasn't glamorous, but it was lucrative. And 3 years ago, when my mentor and dear friend Margaret Chin passed away, she left me something that changed my life forever. A silent partnership in her resort holdings. 6 luxury properties across 3 states. The Azure Coast Resort was one of them. And now it was the stage for my sister's bachelorette weekend. A party she went out of her way to make sure I wasn't part of. Jessica and I grew up in Portland, the daughters of a perfectly ordinary middle-class family. At first, we were close, but as adults, our paths split. I went into hospitality management. She built a career in marketing at a tech firm and eventually landed Trevor Donovan, whose family made their fortune in luxury car dealerships. She drove around in his Tesla and filled her Instagram with vacation reels. I kept my old Subaru and poured my money into investments. At family dinners, the comparisons never stopped. Jessica's team just expanded to Singapore. Mom would gush, "Lauren, how's the hotel business?" Dad would ask politely, as if I ran some roadside inn. Jessica always smiled like she'd won a secret contest. To her, and to them, she was the shining daughter, and I was just getting by. What nobody knew was that under Margaret's guidance, I'd been investing every spare dollar since I was 26. Margaret believed in building quietly. "Real wealth doesn't shout, Lauren," she told me once. "It whispers." When she passed, her attorney read her will. To Lauren Hayes, who understood my vision, I leave 40% partnership in Chun Hospitality Properties, along with operational control. Her children got 60% ownership, but no say in how the company was run. The responsibility and the power was mine. It terrified me. It thrilled me. And I told no one in my family, because I knew the second I revealed it, they'd stop seeing me and start seeing dollar signs. When Jessica got engaged last fall, the family treated it like a royal event. Trevor proposed on a yacht with a diamond that could blind you in sunlight. Mom cried over the ring. "Your sister is marrying into such a wonderful family," she said, her words carrying the usual undertone. Jessica was doing it right. And I, still single, still working. Soon came the bachelorette planning. Jessica's maid of honor suggested the Azure Coast Resort. "It's nearly impossible to book," she squealed. "Only the absolute top tier get in." Jessica's eyes lit up. Perfect for her Instagram. Perfect to show off. I assumed, at the very least, she'd invite me. I was her sister. But then I noticed I'd been quietly removed from the group chat. I only found out about the booking because Mom slipped at dinner. "Oh, the Monterey trip sounds amazing. You must be excited, Lauren," she stopped short, realizing. Jessica sat there, face blank. "It's a small group," she said. "Just my closest friends." My heart sank. "I'm your sister," I whispered. "It's not personal," she shrugged. "We just want to keep it intimate." That night, I texted her, "Jess, I'd really like to be there. Can we talk about this?" Her reply came 30 minutes later. "Lauren, honestly, it's $3,000 per person for the weekend. We both know you can't afford it. I didn't want to embarrass you. This is me being considerate. The audacity of it. The condescension. If she just admitted we weren't close anymore, it would have hurt, but at least it would have been honest. Instead, she dressed her cruelty in fake compassion. What Jessica didn't know was that earlier that very afternoon, the general manager of Azure Coast, David Park, had emailed me. A large bachelorette booking had been confirmed for June. Guest of honor, Jessica Hayes. My resort. Poetic justice had just landed in my lap. The next morning, I called David, the Hayes Bachelorette Group. "I'll be attending as a guest. Don't announce me. Just treat me like any other attendee until I say otherwise." "Understood, Miss Hayes," he replied smoothly. Then I texted Jessica. "You're right. $3,000 is a lot. But I want to celebrate you. I'll figure it out. Count me in. A long pause. Then her reply. Lauren, I don't think that's a good idea. The group dynamic is set. I insist. Family matters. I'll book my own arrangements. Finally, she gave in. Fine. But don't expect us to slow down for you. I didn't. Instead of a shared suite, I booked myself into the owner's penthouse, 3 bedrooms, a private infinity pool, sweeping views of the Pacific. David made sure I was checked in quietly, away from Jessica's entourage. When the weekend arrived, I flew in, rented a modest sedan, and kept my arrival understated. I walked through the resort in simple, effortless elegance. From across the courtyard, I could hear them before I saw them. Jessica and her friends shrieking by the pool, their laughter carrying through the air. They thought I didn't belong. They thought I couldn't afford to be there. And yet, they were standing on ground I owned. The pool deck was dotted with women in identical bride tribe swimsuits, all laughter and cocktails. I chose a lounger tucked away on the far side with a paperback in hand. It only took about 15 minutes before Jessica spotted me. Her expression flickered. First surprise, then annoyance, then outright irritation. She made her way over, her smile so forced it almost hurt to look at. Lauren, she said tightly, you actually showed up? I told you I would, I replied calmly, adjusting my sunglasses. The place is stunning. Her jaw tightened. I thought we agreed you'd stick to your own areas. This section is private for us. I glanced around the busy pool deck. It's open to all guests. But don't worry. Just pretend I'm not here. She shot me a glare before storming back to her circle of friends. I caught the whispers that followed. Awkward, can't take a hint, desperate. I turned a page in my book, unaffected. Saturday was spa day. Jessica had reserved the entire facility for her bridal party. I wasn't on the guest list, but I still wanted my massage. At 10 a.m., I walked in. Maria, the spa coordinator, froze for just a beat when she saw me, then regained her professional composure. Miss Hayes, she greeted softly. We weren't expecting you. Would you like your usual? Before I could answer, Jessica swooped in, bristling with fury. What are you doing here? This is our private booking. I smiled politely. I'm a resort guest. I'd like a massage. Is that an issue? Her voice dropped to a hiss. You're stalking my bachelorette trip. It's pathetic, Lauren. You can't accept that you weren't invited. The entire spa had gone silent. Her friends watched, waiting for me to crumble. Instead, I kept my voice steady. I'm a paying guest, using facilities available to every guest. If my presence is so unbearable, maybe we should ask management to weigh in. Yes, let's, Jessica snapped, triumphant. She whipped out her phone, raising her voice for effect. This is Jessica Hayes. Send security to the spa immediately. There's a guest harassing my group, and I want her removed from the property. She hung up, looking smug. 5 minutes later, David Park, the resort's general manager, arrived with 2 security staff. Miss Hayes, he greeted Jessica, politely before turning to me. His tone softened noticeably. Miss Hayes, I hear there's some disagreement. How would you like me to handle it? Jessica blinked, thrown off by his approach. Why are you speaking to her like that? I'm the one who called. I want this woman gone. David's expression didn't shift. Understood. Miss Hayes, he looked at me. Would you like to clarify? I took a breath. My sister Jessica planned her bachelorette party here. She didn't realize I have a personal connection to this property. She's insisting I leave. Jessica let out a sharp laugh. Personal connection? Lauren, please. You can barely cover your rent. Stop pretending. She turned back to David. Remove her, or I'll file a complaint. David met my eyes. I gave a small nod. He turned back to Jessica. Miss Hayes, he said evenly, I owe you an explanation. This is Lauren Hayes. She is not just a guest. She is the principal owner of this resort and 5 others in the Chun Hospitality portfolio. She holds full operational control. The words hit like thunder. Jessica's face drained of color. That's not possible, she whispered. She just works in hotels. She doesn't own them. I've worked under Miss Hayes for 3 years, David replied calmly. I assure you she does. Her late mentor, Margaret Chun, left her a controlling interest. Jessica turned toward me, eyes wide. You always said you were a consultant. I am, I said with a shrug. I consult on properties I own. I never lied. I just didn't correct your assumptions. Her shock morphed into humiliation. If you own all this, why didn't you ever say anything? Would you have invited me if you'd known? I asked quietly. Or would you have chosen a different resort altogether? She didn't answer. We both knew the truth. David cleared his throat. Miss Hayes, should I make alternate arrangements for the bridal party? No, I said firmly. They can stay. I'd just appreciate if the harassment ends here. David inclined his head. Of course. Ladies, Miss Hayes is entitled to full access of the resort at any time. I trust this resolves the matter. Jessica stood frozen, the balance of power completely overturned. That night, she knocked on my suite door. I let her in, and we sat on the balcony as the ocean stretched black and endless before us. I didn't know, she whispered. I know. Why didn't you tell anyone? Because once people find out about the money, they stop seeing me. They only see what I have. I didn't want that. Her voice cracked. I treated you like you were nothing. You did. For years. That text you sent wasn't just unkind. It was cruel. Tears spilled down her face. I don't know why I did it. Maybe because you seemed fine. Content. And I wasn't. I post the perfect life online, but I'm not happy. Not really. Seeing you okay with yourself made me resentful. My anger eased a little. I hated that you made me feel worthless because my life didn't look like yours. You're my sister. You should have been cheering me on, not tearing me down. She sobbed. You're right. I'm so sorry. An apology couldn't erase years of pain, but it was a start. I don't know if we can fix this, I said honestly. But if we do, it has to start with you seeing me, really seeing me. She wiped her eyes. I want my sister back. Then tell me about the wedding, I said gently. The real version, not the Instagram version. And for the first time in years, we talked. The next morning, I paid the entire resort bill for her party, $12,000. When they checked out and saw the balance covered with a note from the property owner, their looks of disbelief shifted to respect. Jessica hugged me tightly before leaving. Thank you for everything. You're still awful sometimes, I teased, hugging her back. But you're mine. 6 weeks later came the wedding. This time, I wasn't excluded, I was honored. Jessica asked me to read during the ceremony. At the reception, our mother found me. Jessica told me about the resorts, she said in wonder. Why didn't you say anything? Because I wanted you proud of me, not my bank account. Her eyes softened. She hugged me. I've always been proud of you. I chose to believe her. Jessica and I aren't magically fixed, but we're rebuilding. We're no longer the successful sister and the failure. We're simply sisters. I still drive my Subaru. I still live simply. But now it's by choice, not necessity. And my family finally sees me, not as the one who couldn't keep up, but as the woman who quietly built something meaningful while they were too busy looking elsewhere. Thank you for listening to my story. If it resonated with you, a like would mean the world. Share it so others might find it too. And if you've been through something similar, I'd love to hear your story in the comments.